Now that we got our document created, you want to be sure to save your work so you don't lose it. And to do that, you want to come up here and click on the Save button. When you click on it, it's going to perform a Save As. You see where it says Save As? It doesn't save it because the Save As feature is going to ask us two questions. First of all, where do you want to save your document? Where on your computer? On the desktop? In your Libraries folder? You choose the place. The second question is what name do you want to give it? Now you'll notice the default name is the first couple words within the document, Dreamforce, and there it is, Dreamforce. So it's trying to be helpful. If you don't like that, then you can just go ahead and hit the delete key on the keyboard and type in, well, I'll type in my spiffy doc. And then again, where do I want to save it? I can come over here in the navigation pane and choose the desktop. And then over in the main window, what's on my desktop? Well, my exercises folder. I'll double click on that. And then I'll go ahead and click Save. When I click Save, it puts it right into that folder. And it will change the title bar up at the top from Document 1 to the file name here, my spiffy doc. So let's go ahead and click Save. And there we go, my spiffy doc. So now that it's saved, if I make any changes to the document here, like I come back and I delete the period there, I'm like, okay, I made my changes. When I click on the Save button again, it doesn't open up the Save As feature because now it knows the name of the document, it knows its name is my spiffy doc, and it knows where it should be, which is in the exercises folder. Okay, so if I close out of here and I double click to open up the exercises folder on my desktop, and I come over here, it's sorted alphabetically, so there's M, my spiffy document, double click on it. Hey, isn't that great? I need to add a period. So go ahead and add the period and save your work. So again, anytime you're saving your document for the first time, it's going to perform a Save As. It's going to ask you the two questions. What name do you want to give me and where do you want to save me on the computer? Now if later on you want to be able to create a copy of this document here, maybe as a backup or to give to somebody else so they can make changes to it and they don't overwrite your original work here, well then you want to do a Save As. And the Save As window, let me go ahead and let's delete the period here. So what I'm doing is I've got my original document, my spiffy document. As long as I don't click Save, it's not going to show that the period has disappeared because I haven't saved my work yet, right? But if I come up here and click on the File tab and go down to Save As, it brings up that Save As window, right? Which, by the way, when I close out, it's that icon that I added to my Quick Access toolbar, Save As. Click on it, opens up the same window. So this could be my spiffy document, backup, or just type in 2, make some space there, my spiffy 2, and then click Save. It does a couple of things. First of all, it'll save it as my spiffy doc 2. Now what happened to the original? Well, the original is no longer up, it's now my spiffy doc 2. So I have my original and I have the second or the backup document without the period. Well, how do I know? If I go ahead and close out of here, there we go, original and the copy of it. There's the document original with the period. Come back down here, click on the exercises button, and let's open up number 2, double click, and there it is without the period. So I have my original, and this is the backup, and I'll close out of that and close out of my folder. Now there's one more thing I want to cover here, that when it comes to saving your document, I've got Word 2010 here, okay? If somebody has an earlier version of Word, I'm not talking about 2007, but earlier than that, like 2003 XP or 2000, when you send them documents from Microsoft Word 2010, it may not be compatible. So to avoid the hassles of them trying to open up your document in an earlier version, like Word 2003, just go ahead and save it back to an earlier version. And you can do that by using the Save As feature as well. Come up here and click on, well, my Save As button's up here, but you can click on the File tab and go down to Save As. And it's going to ask us the two questions, where do you want to save it and what name do you want to give it? But we want to change the type, because the type right now is a Word 2010 document. How do I know that? Well, let me click on the drop-down arrow and show you the difference between the two. There's earlier versions of Word from 97 to 2003, and the extension, because that's what it's referred to as, the .doc, that tells the operating system what program to open up this file in, and it ties that to the name of your file. Let me click off in a blank area. There's my name, and you see the .doc. See how it adds it? It extends the name. Again, that's a cue for the operating system to open this file up in Word 2010. But when I change this and I say, let's go ahead and create an earlier version of it, and I save it as a document from 97 to 2003, then when I go ahead and save it, I can email that off to my friend Bob, who doesn't have Word 2010 or 2007, but has maybe Word 2000 or 2003. That way you can open it up and not have any problems with opening it up, as opposed to opening up a later version of it, okay? So I'll go ahead and select that, and then I can change the name if I want or just leave it the same. It won't override it because, again, the extension here is a .doc as compared to the extension here .docx. Now let me explain it this way. What's the X for? The X stands for Extensible Markup Language. It's basically a more stable code for the program. So anytime you save a file in Word 2010 with this X here, that file is going to be smaller because it uses compression. So that way when you email somebody, it won't take as long. And it also has improved recovery. It means that if your file gets corrupted for some reason, you have a better chance of recovering it than if you saved it in an earlier version of Word. So you've got stability and smaller files when you save your Word document in the Word 2010 program with the default, the .docx. So let's go ahead and go back to 2003, click Save. That's it. And notice up here at the top it says Compatibility Mode because now it's not an original Word 2010 file. I mean, it was created, but we converted it to an earlier version, okay? So if I go ahead and close out of here, and let's open up my exercises folder so you can see it. I've got 3 different documents. I have my original with the extension .docx. Now, when you go into your folders, if you can't see the extension of the name here, by default the operating system hides it because if you delete this extension here, then Windows 7 won't know what program to open up this file in. It could be Word, it could be Access, it could be PowerPoint, so it says you probably don't want to mess with that. In any case, if you want to learn more about it and be able to display these extensions, then you want to watch my Windows 7 training video on extensions. I have mine turned on, that's why you can see them here, in any case. So you've got 3 different documents. We have this one, the original with the X, that was created in Word 2010, and then the second, which is the copy of it, again Word 2010. How can I tell if this one, if I can't see the extension because that doesn't have the X? I mean, without the X, I automatically know it wasn't created in 2010 or 2007. But how do I know if I don't see the extension? One, you can hover over it, and you see the pop-up. It says Microsoft Word 97 through 2003. So that's one way that it was created in an earlier version. Or you can come up here on the command bar, if it's in a folder, click on the drop-down arrow, and say you want to see medium icons. And you see the Word icon for the earlier version of Word. It's a different icon than to the most recent version of Word 2010. So there's another way. In any case, there's a couple ways to find out. Which, by the way, that one's a different one that was created. Let's scroll down to the ones that we created here. And there we go, My Spiffy Document. So there's My Spiffy Document, the original, the backup, and then of course the different icon because we saved it from the original as an earlier version or into an earlier version. I'm going to go ahead and come back up here, click on the drop down arrow and go back to my list view so I can pretty much fit everything to within this size window here. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.